Okay, guys, I will take it as a yes. You don't have any doubts. So yesterday we have seen, right, how to log into the Linux server. Currently, I already bring up a Linux server here. So yesterday I have bring up Linux server, right? Now I'm going to connect to my Linux server, guys. Let's see how to connect. Yesterday I showed you, right? We need to open any SSH tool, that may be mobile external, putty, any tool, guys. It's all up to you. Since this is my local, right, I need to provide my local IP address. Then username, this is by default this will be Vagrant. The port will be like, since this is local, I have done some port forwarding. I will cover this port forwarding, all these things in the further session, guys. 2222 I have given, guys. Now let me log into the server. Okay, Vagrant is my password. This is the by default password for the any Vagrant virtual machine. Now I have logged into the server, guys. Here, right, now as per our plan, right, today we're going to install and configure Jenkins in the Linux server. As I mentioned earlier, right, in our first session, in the Linux also, right, we have different flavors. Let's say like Ubuntu will be one flavor, as Red Hat or Sandwich will be one flavor. Okay. So to do the installation process, that means the way how you are going to install any software, right, that will be vary in the Ubuntu. Same, the process will be completely different in the CentOS. So before doing anything, right, any software configuration management, we need to check the current OS version. Based upon OS, right, we are going to install the package. Okay. Now, if you let's see union space to do that, right? What is the command? Yesterday we had discussed, right? Union space -a. Here all the system information and OS version we can get it. Here EL8. By default, EL8 means like CentOS family. CentOS family. If you want to see it completely, we can also see in the etc/OS release. Here, right, just like our Windows, right, we can see the version details here. This is the what I created VM is CentOS 8 machine, and I have some minor version also. Okay, so now I have understood. Currently, I have a CentOS machine, guys. Now, whatever steps the installation process should be compared with the CentOS. As I mentioned, for Ubuntu, right, the way how you are installing our Jenkins will be vary, guys. Now, I have created a small blog post for this one. Okay. You please go through this, guys. So if you have any doubts, right, you please let me know. I will try to help you, guys. We have a blank here. Here, right, before going to install, as you can see here, first of all, right, yum install EPEL release -y. Okay. So here yum in the sense, this is kind of package manager for the CentOS, guys. Okay. For the Ubuntu, right, this will be different. Debian, DB, it will change. Also, like, if you want to install something, dpkg, that will be some different set of commands, guys. In the further sessions, right, I will cover Ubuntu also. So let's focus on the installation part as of now. So currently, right, first of all, I need to install EPEL release. Now to do these operations, okay, let me show you what will happen is, it will ask for the root user permission. As you can see here, right, this command has to run with the super user permissions and the root user on the most system. That means you should become root user, guys. To become root user, right, I'm going to run command called sudo su. So now who am I? Currently I become a root user. So I can do anything in the current Linux server, guys. Now let me run the commands and see. Same commands, install EPEL release. Here, right, as I mentioned, right, in Windows, right, if you want to install any software, right, what you're going to do is you're going to surf the internet and you're going to download a exec file, guys. From the exec file, right, you will click on next, something like that. You will do some set of actions and you're going to install the required software. Similarly, in the Linux, right, whatever like open source community, right, this is kind of open source community repository. So any softwares we have developed, right, our team, Linux team, is going to publish to this EPL repository. From this repository, right, first of all, you need to install this repository link. From here, right, what based upon your requirement, right, in the next commands, as you can see here, once you use EPL, right, then you will have this Java will be available to get installed in your local, guys. So let's do it. So when I'm trying to install this one, right, Java, right, is trying to check all the available repositories, guys. First of all, if you can see here, this is one of the packages for the enterprise Linux. You know, all these things, whatever it's trying to search, right, this kind of different repositories, guys. It will search different repository. Wherever this is identified this particular package, right, it is going to install. Here we are not going to surf internet separately, guys. I mean, we're not going to surf the internet and we're not going to download anything. We're just adding our repository and we're going to install the software. That's it, guys. As you can see here, right, first of all, this is our package which we want to install, guys. Java OpenJDK 1.11. Okay. From here, right, I want to install all these, whatever things you are seeing, right, say like Cairo, ALSA, lib, all these things are, right, these are the dependencies. So if you want to install this particular Java software, right, you should also have this in your machine. So our Linux side, what it has done is it's automatically solved the dependencies. That means when you pass this as argument, it check these are all these requirements and it's finally it will show some what is the downloadable size, 67 MB, guys. Here now I'm going to install all the dependencies. It will install first, as you can see, and finally, right, it's going to install our Java also. First it will download and it will fetch the package, and now it's going to install the packages, guys. This is how it will search for the package and this is how it will resolve auto dependencies, and it's going to install now. Open Java 1.11. Any doubt, guys, you have? Anything, you can ask me anything, guys. That should be okay. Let's wait for a couple of minutes. It won't take much time, guys. Based upon your internet speed, right, this may be varied. Let's wait for a minute. It should be completed. Okay, guys. So now I have the Java. If you want to see the Java is installed or not, right, you can see something like that. Minus version, if I remember correctly. See, we have the Java version is installed here. OpenJDK runtime environment, OpenJDK, what is the version? 11.0. Okay. Then need to go further. This is the repository. As I mentioned some time back, right? Here we're not going to surf internet. We're not going to download the software, right? Instead, we're adding the particular repository. Okay, where this Jenkins software is being hosted. Okay. Now we're going to add it to our local repositories, and from there we're going to install Jenkins. Let's see how it will happen. This is kind of key, guys. This can be installed or not installed. This is not a problem. This is kind of best practice which we need to follow in the real time. I'm going to add a key also. So just to authenticate, guys. Okay. Then directly I'm going to now install our Jenkins, guys. Same comments, or however I have installed this OpenJDK, right? Similarly, I'm going to use for the Jenkins also. This is our package manager, Yum-based package manager. Then install, then Jenkins. -5 means it will ask for the approval, right? So I am auto approving it here. Okay. Now let's see what is happening here. Since I have already Java is installed, right? Now it's trying to see, it is trying to directly downloading the our Jenkins package. By default, right, it is searching for the latest version, guys. This is our 2.289. This is our latest available version in the Jenkins repository, guys. It is installing 70, downloading 80% is there. In I think less than a minute we can install the software. Any doubt, guys, you have until now? Okay. Now I have Jenkins installed, guys. Now I need to start the Jenkins service. Also, I need to add it to the as a bootable process for the Linux machine. Now let's see how to do it. Here, right, to start any service, right, in the Red Hat or CentOS, right, we can use this particular command, guys. Systemctl start. If you want stop, right, you need to pass it as a stop. And what is the service name you want to start or stop, guys? Here I am trying to start our Jenkins. So this is the command for this one. Let's see. Now it's trying to start the service, Jenkins service. If you want to see the status, right, yesterday I have discussed, guys, all the commands. Okay. System control status Jenkins. Now let's see. As you can see here, right, you should be active state. If it is in the some error state, right, then you need to debug, guys. What's valid? Okay. Now this is how, right?
అవునా అట్లా ఏం లేదు, నేను అందరినీ ఎలా చేశాను. సరే మళ్ళీ ఇన్వైట్ పంపిస్తాను.
One minute, guys, I will mute. Okay. This is how, right, we can start the Jenkins service. Also, one more thing I have mentioned, right, we need to enable it as
ఇంకో లింక్ పంపించాను చూడు.
Venkatesh, we are not able to hear you. You are on mute.
Okay, so let me repeat this one. What I'm telling is, here, right, I have started the Jenkins service, guys. Then I have seen the Jenkins status, whether it's up or not. If there is something went wrong, right, this will be in the active state, guys. If there is something went right, we need to debug further what went wrong, and we need to fix the issues, guys. Then I'm going to enable my Jenkins service as a bootable process in the Linux machine. This is just like, you know, in Windows, when you start your laptop, you will see some set of process will also get started automatically. Okay, so this is just like that. You can compare with the Windows, guys. That's it. Now, by default, right, Jenkins will be running on the 8080 port, guys. Okay, so if you want to see the Jenkins process running or not, right, you can also see ps space ef grep for the Jenkins process. As you can see here, right, my Jenkins process is running, guys. Okay, this is taking it as my Java version which I have installed, and it is running the process on the 8080 port. This is the default port for the Jenkins, guys. Now, as of currently, right, I am running everything in a VM, right. This port I should be exposed to my local laptop, guys. Similarly, in the real time also, right, in the Linux server, which can be hosted on the Azure or AWS, right, we'll create a VM. We are going to install the required software, same steps, guys. Steps won't get different, guys. Okay, then what we're going to do is this 8080 port, right, we're going to expose to the internet or within organization, guys. As per our company policies, right, we are going to expose this 8080 port. Okay, this is how we're going to do it, guys. Now, currently, yesterday I have shown you, right, how to expose a port in the background. Here, as you can see, yesterday, right, I have installed our Apache. Done is 1 minute, guys. So here I am forwarding my guest port. Guest port means this is our VM. whatever host means, this is my PC, guys. Okay, in the real time also, right? What guest will be like our virtual machine, some 8080 port we are going to pass. The mapping can be to the internet or to the particular environment, to our organization level settings, guys. Now what I'm going to do is I need to expose my port to the 8080, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to map it to 8080 8080. Okay, this is how I can map it. Currently, if you want to see, right, let's see, even though I have my Jenkins process running state, I can't start the service, guys. It will wait for a couple of minutes and it will fail. The site can't be reached. This is because I didn't enable this 8080 port. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I have done the port mapping here, 8080 for the 8080 port. Let me save this and I need to reload it. Okay. It will take a couple of minutes, guys. Meanwhile, right, if you have any doubts until now, please let me know, guys. I am happy to help you. It is shut down VM and it will start.
I think you have installed Jenkins with root user and suddenly you have moved to Dell user.
No. Sorry. This is my Windows machine. So this is
Okay.
a Linux machine. Okay. This is Git bash and I am reloading from here.
Okay.
Here I have the session, Linux session.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. This is my host device. This is my guest device. Okay.
Oh,
800 of guys. Here, as you can see here, right, this is starting now. 8080 port is mapped to 8080. Earlier, right, I have only port mapping to the 80 port. Now I added a new port, right? So 8080 to 8080. Now once the service got started, right, I'm good. It will take a minute, I think. Let's wait. Let me restart the session. Okay, machine is good and ready, right? Let's see. Okay, the session is started. Let me add my password again. If you want to save password, you can save it, guys, in this tool, Mobile Extra. I don't prefer to store. Okay. Now my Jenkins service got started, guys. If you want to see, right, process started or not, same steps for our Jenkins. My process is running, right. Now let me see let me refresh here. Okay, it's taking some time, I think. Let's wait. Okay, so now it's loading, guys. Earlier, right, our Jenkins is unable to load. Why? Because the port is not configured. Now currently I have forwarded 8080 port to my host machine. Now the Jenkins is going to start, guys. Now after installing Jenkins, right, we need to do some post installation steps. We are going to do it, guys, right now. This is kind of initial time, right? It will take more time. From the further, right, after installing plugins, everything, right, that will be quite fast. Meanwhile, right, if you have any doubts, you can let me know, guys. I'll try to help you with answers. If you want to see what's happening, right, you can see the logs also. Here, as you can see here, we have the log file, right? We can tail the log and see what's happening. Fully up and running, right? It will load this. Okay. Here, it's Jenkins is loaded successfully. Now we need to set our initial configuration, guys. That means admin username and admin password, email ID configuration. Also, we need to install some required plugins, guys. Before going to do that part, right? Currently, the Jenkins is locked, guys. Okay. Now I need to unlock this Jenkins. To do that, right? What it is saying is, it is stored a password in my Linux machine in this particular file. Okay, initial admin password. Now let me cat this one. This is my secret, guys. This is one time only. Once you configure, right, you are no longer. It won't ask again. Okay. I'm going to paste it here. Let me continue. Now we have some plugin setup. Support should be there, guys. Here. Okay. Here each plugin has some different usage, guys. Git plugins will be there, Maven plugin will be there, Pipeline plugins will be there, Azure plugins will be there. Jenkins is the open source community, guys. Okay, anyone, even I can develop a plugin and I can publish to our Jenkins repository. You can also develop a separate Jenkins plugin, completely open source. Now, what I'm just doing is I'm just installing whatever plugins Jenkins is saying by default. I'm going to click on this option. What it is saying is it has a set of plugins which should be installed, say folders, pipeline plugins, git plugins, workspace plugins, all these things, right? It's going to install, guys, right now. It will take a couple of minutes. Let's wait, guys. Any doubt, guys? You have?
How can we differentiate guest OS?
Sure. Okay, this is right. This is my laptop. My laptop is my host OS, guys. Okay, Windows is my host OS. Guest OS, right? Any VM I have created right here, that will be act as a guest OS. Let me open this one. You can see a lot of views. Okay. Okay, this virtual machine takes some time. Okay, so what my laptop has, this is my host OS, right? Here all these things, right? Just OS machines, guys. Let's see. I have a VM called Jenkins here, right? I have a OS version called Ubuntu. Okay. Similarly, I have another Kubernetes cluster. This is like CentOS 7. Okay. The guest OS can be varied, guys, but my host OS will be always Windows machine. Windows. I can change any VM. I can install any VM as per my requirement. Here, current machine, if you see, right, this CentOS 8. You just need to choose the version which you want to use. Okay. You need to use particular OS version. That's it. It's going to install automatically. Any further doubt, guys? Please ask me if you have anything. I think it will take some time, so you can discuss. If you have anything.
I
Hello.
have a small doubt.
Hello.
Yes, yes.
You have first shown me the difference between host and guest OS. Yeah, I totally understand. But you have installed Jenkins on guest OS, right?
CentOS, correct. Yeah, guest OS, correct.
Guest
Hmm.
OS. Then
Hmm.
how did you move to Dell user?
No, I think I am telling you. Okay, this is my Git bash. Okay, this is my local.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, here whatever activity I am performing in this shell, right? Mobile, I have connected with some remote machine, right? This is
Yeah.
my Linux machine, guest OS machine. Okay. Here,
Okay.
like Google Chrome, I have opened a lot of tools, right? Say like VirtualBox. All the things I am doing from my host machine, laptop. This is my
Okay.
server. So whatever things I am executing here, right, in this particular shell, this is on the
Okay.
guest OS.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, may I answer your question? Or? Any further explanation you need?
No, I'm confused still.
No, no, okay. I think did you attend my initial session in the first
Yeah.
session, right? Like Oracle, first I have a host machine. On top host machine, I have some OS, which is called Windows. Okay. From Windows
Yeah.
OS, again, I have created some hypervisor. Here, I am using virtual machine and Vagrant to create the hypervisor environment. Using
Okay.
full stack, right? I'm going to create my guest OSs. Okay. Here I
Okay.
can create a number of VMs. Let's say like import appliance. You can create a VM also, just like this. So
Okay. Yeah.
some test VM you can call it as. Here I have automated using Vagrant. Okay. Linux.
Okay.
Choose which OS you can install here. Lot of OS versions are there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Here, instead using VirtualBox, right? I'm using Vagrant box will be there. That's a separate set of configuration. Using Vagrant box, right? I have created all these VMs. Okay.
Oh,
So,
okay.
right, each VM can be have different OS as per my requirement, right? I can choose what I want. Okay.
Okay.
So, let's say like one machine has some Ubuntu, one machine has some CentOS, one can be that may like Alpine OS also, anything. Okay. So
Okay.
whenever I have started this Vagrant up command, right, it's going to start a OS, something like it will start my server. Okay. In real
Okay.
time also, right, same concept only, it won't change anything. Here, this is my VM which I have created for the demonstration purpose. Okay. Now, what are things I am doing here, right? Let me show it here. Okay, when I open the shell here, Linux commands, right? I'm connecting to this particular guest machine. This is CentOS 8 machine here. I'm logging.
Yeah.
So instead of logging from Oracle VirtualBox, right? I use some different tool here, Mobile Extra. That's it.
Okay.
So generally, right, how other people will do, they will log in from the Oracle virtual machine here directly. All activity, right, they will do it here. However, what I'm doing is I have used some SSH tool called Mobile. I have connected to the server and I am performing all these steps as a root user. And if you want to move to the guest means, obviously, if you can close this tool, right, you will be on Windows machine. That's it.
Okay.
Let's not close this one. Let's see whether it will take a couple of minutes.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Like you are using Vagrant, right? For port numbers and all. What is that? I can't understand that. Not only you told that is host. No.
Mm-mm.
What is that? Huh.
Okay, I think that's kind of very huge concept will be there. Okay, let me tell you this one. High level, I will try to explain. Let me start this one. This is my host machine, let's say, and I have something like some hypervisor is there. This is my virtual box. I have a set of VMs, let's say, one VM per gen, one VM. Okay, let's name it as here. My laptop, let's say. I have a middleware called Oracle VM box here. Here, right, my laptop has a network. As you can see here, right, I have connected to Wi-Fi. Okay. If you want to surf anything to the internet, right, I need to connect to the internet. Okay, right? This part you will agree with me. Okay. Again, one more thing, let me tell you here. Let me add it here. Let's say here I have a Jenkins machine. Okay, this part is done. I have a VM, I have a laptop. On top of my OS, right, I have installed some Oracle VirtualBox software. On top of it, I have created VM for the Jenkins and I have installed. Okay, by default, right, whatever things I am doing in the Jenkins machine, right, this is only available for this particular machine. Okay, this is my VM, right? This is going something. Okay, yeah. Within VM only, I should be accessible anything. Let's say like if you want to access a Jenkins, right? Sticky So here, right, my port is actually within the, within VM, guys, initially. Okay. Now here, if you want to access, right, what I need to do is access this Jenkins machine, Jenkins within VM. What I need to do is I need to install Google Chrome or Firefox within VM. That will take a lot of time. Also, in the when you start working real time also, right, we're not going to do in this way. We're not going to say any Google Chrome or any Firefox within a Linux server. We're going to fire up directly. Okay, so instead of that, what I have done is I have done some mapping here. Let me open the file. This is my background file, right? Okay, let me load this one. Yeah, as I mentioned, right, initially it will only open within my Linux machine. That means within this particular server only, right? I can access this particular port. That means Jenkins will be available only from this VM, guys. So I want to access this Jenkins from my desktop. That means I have a Google Chrome browser already installed, right? So I want to access Jenkins from my laptop. To do that, right, I need to do some set of configuration. This is my port configuration will be there. Here, as you can see, let me reopen my VM. Here, what I'm going to do is I'm forwarding the port. You can search the internet. What is this port forwarding? You will get more idea on this part. This is my guest OS, guys. Okay, guest 8080 port. Why I have choose 8080? By default, Jenkins will be running on 8080 port. Okay. Now I'm going to forward this port to my host machine. That means to my laptop 8080. And after restarting, right, this will do some port mapping here, and then only, right, I will be able to access this Jenkins machine, Jenkins, from my laptop. Otherwise, right, this without this setting, right, I can't access Jenkins from my laptop. Only within the guest machine. That means only within the VM only I should be able to access, not from my laptop. After adding this setting only, right, as you can see here, earlier, right, I was unable to access the Jenkins from my laptop. After doing this port mapping, right, I was able to access it, guys. If you want to see, right, there is another way to check this one. Here is there, right? Let's go to the settings.
From where did you get this file?
I think in the second session I have given this one. So
It's yesterday's session, right?
Yes. So this one is the right. I have created a folder first of all. How to choose the VM? This is the command you need to use. This one here. I shared the commands already. Okay, when you invoke this command, right, it will create a Vagrant file, guys, here. Okay. Then I have choose the CentOS 8 version. If I want, right, some different version also, I can choose it here. Let's say Vagrant box list. I'm going to list down different OS version. What are all available in my laptop? I have something like CentOS 8. I have Ubuntu 16, Ubuntu 18, Ubuntu 20, CentOS 7. I have. So Ubuntu. This is also a different version, 20.2. All these things are different OS platform. As per my requirement, right? Currently, I want to teach you on the Linux machine, CentOS machine as of now. So I have choose this particular box, Vagrant virtual box. So when you run this init command, right, it will take the file. Sorry, it will pull the image and it will create a Vagrant file. This is what you can see. If you okay, give me some time. After configuration, right, I will show you how this will create. If you have any further doubts, right, let me know, guys. Let me create a user. Here I will put like admin as a password just for this is my local only, right? So admin username also I am giving it as admin, and mail ID, right? We need to follow the format, guys. You can put some dummy address also. That should be okay. .com email address. Then save and continue. Okay, as you can see here, Jenkins URL localhost 8080. By default, 8080 port, right? In the when you start working on the hands-on, right, real time, right, this can be changed, guys. Okay, when we started the Microsoft Azure, right, Azure Services training, I will try to teach you guys this part also. How to change this one, okay. Now let me save and finish. Click on the start using Jenkins. Now you will have the Jenkins dashboard will be available, guys. This is how you can install the Jenkins. Okay. Now let's come to the, I will tell them. Let me go to the one step back. So here you can go to your laptop, guys, anywhere. Okay, you can open your Git bash. That's why in the first session I have told like you need to install the Git bash, Vagrant, Oracle VirtualBox, right? These three things once you install it, this is our next step, guys. You can create a folder here. I will show you how it will work out. File exists already. Okay, let me change the file name, something like test. Now let me go to this file. I went to the file. Now I need to fire up the command, guys. Vagrant init bento CentOS 8. Currently, if you see, right, my folder is empty. Whatever folder I have created, this is completely empty, guys. Okay. Now when I fire up this one, right, Vagrant init bento /CentOS 8, it will create a Vagrant file. Let's see how it will do. This is a kind of initial folder it will create. Also one .vagrant also it will create. Let's see now what is happening is. As you can see here, right, I have a file.
Are you executing these commands on Windows server?
Windows machine, correct.
Okay.
Okay. So whatever changes you want to do, right, you can perform on this file, Vagrant file. As you can see here, right. So this is my OS box which I am using. This port configuration is available here. If you want to change something, right, you can change it here. Now guest to host mapping, you can do it. Then you can fire up the Vagrant up command here. In the same folder you should be. Let me add one more CD step also. Then, right, after successful completion of this Vagrant up command, right, then your VM will be up. Initially, right, it will connect to the internet and it will download this particular Oracle OS, CentOS 8 OS. It will take like 30 to 40 minutes sometime. It's like 500 MB, some size will be very high. It will take some time, guys. Okay. Once you complete all these steps, right, you have a CentOS guest machine available in your local desktop. Any doubts, guys? You have want to know? Happy to teach you guys. You can ask me anything. That should be okay. Okay, guys. So I have logged into the Jenkins. Before going to further, right, let me create some very high level job, guys. Okay. So let me walk through it. If you want to do any administrative activities, right, you have something like manage Jenkins, guys, here. Okay. If you want to create any new Jenkins job, right, you can click on new item. Other things are there. I will tell you in the further sessions, guys. Okay. First, what we're going to do is let's go to the manage Jenkins. Let's configure our environment. Okay. As per our slide, what and all things we need to configure, guys? In the Jenkins machine, we need to have the Java. We need to have the already Java is installed as part of Jenkins. Then Maven also we need to install, guys. These further things, right, I will cover in the further sessions. Okay. Now, if you go to the manage Jenkins, right, here we can see set of options, guys. Configure section, global tool configuration, manage plugins, and manage nodes and clouds. As of now, right, let's focus on the manage plugins, guys. If, as I mentioned, right, Jenkins is an open source community. You can install any software from the internet, any Jenkins plugin from the internet. Now, currently, I'm going to create a Maven project, guys. Since to build the Java, right, I need to have the Maven. Okay. So I'm going to install a basic Maven plugins here. So here you just need to go to plugin manager, go to the availability and search for Maven. Here I have something like Maven integration. Okay. Now I'm going to click on this one and install without restart. After installing the plugin, right, Jenkins will restart automatically. Okay. If you want, I will restart. Otherwise, I don't restart, guys. So as you can see here, right, it is downloading this Maven integration plugin from the internet and it will load it and it will restart. If I select this box, guys, this is how you can install any Jenkins plugin. It won't take much time. Less than a minute it should take, guys. Let's wait until it completed. Meanwhile, right, if you have any doubts, right, let me know, guys.
So you have installed Jenkins on both Windows and Linux, correct?
No, only on Linux. On Linux,
Only-
I have done this port mapping to access from my laptop.
Okay.
Whenever I have hit this URL, right, localhost 8080, this is pointing to my VM, Linux VM, whatever I have created. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is, this is how to install plugin, guys. Now, I want to configure Maven also, right? So to do that one, right, global tool, any tool, whatever tool you have seen here in the slide deck, right? That may be like Maven or Java, anything, right? You need to configure in the global tool configuration. Now, I'm going to go to the global tool configuration here. Okay, here I have a lot of settings, guys. Java, Git currently I didn't install. I will show you. I will get some error. After error, right, I will show you guys. Okay. Now Maven is there. Maven I want to configure. Maven, right? I have a lot of versions are available from the internet. It will get automatically installed, guys. Okay. Which version you want to choose, right? You can choose it here. Currently, right, I don't want any latest version. I will go with the 3.5.0 version, guys. Okay. Now I have choose the 3.5.0 version, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to name it as a Maven 35. I will assume like 3.5. Okay. Now if you go with 3.8, right, you can have this one, because you can choose multiple Maven environments at a time in the Jenkins, guys. If you want to add one more Maven setup, right, you can choose it always. 3.6, you can choose it here. Let's say like Maven 36, you can call it something like this. Okay, so currently I will go with only one installation. Okay, currently 3.5 I'm going to use it, guys. Okay, similarly, if you want, right, our Git, I want by default, right, Git won't install in the Linux machine. I want to install it manually, guys. If you want to install manually, right, you can use the same command, yum install Git. I will show you. I won't install it, but I will just show you for our reference. Yum install Git. It will search for the EPL repository and it will show the Git client to get installed. That's right, for a minute. It's connecting to the Linux repository. Now it is asking yes or no. If you click on yes, right, it will get installed, guys. I will say no as of now. Let's install from the Jenkins itself. Install automatically. When you click on this one, right, it will install automatically. Okay. Now let's see, guys. I have configured my Maven. I have configured Jenkins. Okay. So as you can see from the slide deck, Git client I am configuring and Maven I am configuring. Java I have already. Okay. Now let's try to create a simple Jenkins job. This is like manually I'm creating, guys. In real time, pipeline as a code will come to picture. I will cover in the further session. Maybe by Monday, right? I will go to there. Okay. Here I can have some sample basic Java app, something like that. Java app. Okay. Now, since this is Maven project, right? I can choose Maven. Of course, anything I can use it and I can configure. Just for I want to start from basics, guys. That's why I'm going to. I have already installed a Maven integration plugin. Now I'm going to choose the Maven project. Okay. I have created some name. Let me click on OK. Now I have a lot of options, guys. So all these things, right, I will cover in the further session. See, this is day one for the Jenkins, right? I will only cover some few things, guys. Okay. First, how we can integrate Jenkins with the GitHub or Bitbucket, anything, right? So this is kind of source code management. We have a tab right here. We can click on this one. Here currently I is the point to none. Okay. Now since your code base is currently, right, I have created sample Java project which is hosted in the GitHub in the server. Okay. Similarly, if you have some Bitbucket, right, you can choose the Bitbucket, anything, guys. That's all up to our requirement. Git I have. So I need to pass the repository URL, guys. Okay. I will show you. So to do this one, right, you need to create a GitHub account, guys. I will share the task for today. By tomorrow, right, please complete that one. Here I'm going to create a repository URL. Let's see, since currently this is not there, Git is not there, right, it will install. I'm not invoking any Maven, I'm just adding the Git here. Let's see what will happen, guys. If you see here, I have something like Maven pom.xml, right? Okay, let me open the code for you, better I think for your reference. This is my code, basic Java app. Okay, in real time also, right, we'll have similar, guys. Okay, that may be in GitHub, that may be in Bitbucket, right? Our developer team, they will continually pushing their code base. Okay, this is our code, Java code. Main.test case are there, hello world.java. This is our very basic app, guys. In the further, right, we'll go with the more complex code also. This is day one only. I don't want to jump on high level. I have something Maven pom.xml, guys. Okay, here if you want to compile the code, right, in the Maven session, right, I will cover more on this part. I need to pass a set of goals, guys. As of now, right, I'm just passing something clean package. Okay, I will cover all these steps, guys, in the further session when I'm training you on the Maven. Clean package, these two goals I have given here. Let me save it. Okay, now let's take it, guys. It may show some errors, we'll try to resolve it slowly. First of all, right, I have created a job and I'm going to see the logs. To see the logs, right, I need to click on the output and what to say, I need to click on the console output, guys. Here what I got error is perform git command. Git command is not available, guys. What is happening? Let's try to understand. Okay, here I will tell you what's happening is Jenkins is running as a Jenkins user, guys. Okay, here the process is running as a Jenkins user. Since the Jenkins user don't have permission, root user permission, because of that, right, what happening is it's unable to install any package. If you remember correctly, right, if you want to install any software, right, any OS level package, right, I am becoming as a root user and I am installing different packages. That may be like Git earlier, right? In the I also installed the Oracle JDK, Jenkins also, right? Everything I have performed in the as a root user, guys. This is the reason we got the exception. So if you want to fix that, right, you can try to install the Git now manually on the Linux server. What are things I am doing in the shell, right? Everything I am doing in the guest OS, guys. You may install git space -y. Now it will fetch the git command and it will install, guys. It won't take much time, less than a minute it will take. This is only like 5-6 MB only maximum. Let's see, it's installed now. It's installing. Okay, the git install package client got installed in our Jenkins machine, guys. Now let's try to re-trigger the job again. What will happen? Trigger the job again. Again something went wrong. Let's see what happening now. Here I have the git. Okay, could not find any reason to build. What happening now? Let's try to understand, guys. Here earlier, right, I have issue with the git client. However, if you can see here, right, the git is successful, guys. But I mean all the commands have been running. However, what it is saying is couldn't find any reason to build verify the repository and branch configuration for this job. Okay. Now if you want to change any configuration, right, you can go to this configure section for this particular Jenkins job, and you can see, guys, now I will show you what went wrong. Okay. Where this one? Okay. Here at the Git cloning phase, it failed, right? Here in Git, right, I can have something like branch and tagging concept is there. So here, right, currently by default I have as a master, guys. Okay. Currently, right, when Microsoft is owned this GitHub, they change the structure. Okay. From by default, from the master branch, they make it as a main branch. Okay. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is, here I don't have any master branch, any tags. I just have a branch called main, which is default, guys. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to update my branch name here, main branch. That's it. Let me save it. Let me trigger the job now and see what will happening. Now all the Git commands got succeeded now, and currently I have some error, right? Now the error got resolved, guys. Okay, remotes, origin, whatever branch I have given, right, it's going to check out. All these commands, right, I will cover in the future sessions, guys. Now what it is doing is, it's parsing and it is trying to invoke the Maven, guys, right now. Within a minute, right, it will try to invoke the Maven and it will compile and it will create a package. Let's wait for a minute, and I will open the forum for you to ask any questions. If you see here, right, it download the Maven, and it's trying to take this form file as the input, and whatever goals I have given, clean space package I have given in the configure section, right, it's trying to take that one and it's trying to scan the code, guys. This is how it will work out. CI process, continuous integration. It is going to clone the code and it's going to compile and it will create a package, guys. Any doubts, guys? I just want to make it as a hands-on real time. So I know how it will work with Git and all these things. In the real time also, right? What and all issues will be there, how to debug, right? This is kind of small demo for you guys. If you have any doubts, right, please let me know, guys. I will try to help you. Okay, let me tell you, I think during our training session, I think during initial session, someone asked, so will it kind of debugging session also, someone asked, I am unable to recall his name. So if he's still there, right, this is how we can debug, guys. We can see the log, we can understand. Okay. In the real time, right, we don't follow all these things directly. We know what to change, what not to change. That directly, if we created a job, means as an experience engineer, it will work out, guys. That's it. Just for our demonstration purpose, right, we have done all these steps. The forum is yours, guys. If you have any doubts, right, please let me know. I'm happy to help you. Let me share the steps to you. Anybody install, guys, like Jenkins, Oracle VirtualBox and Vagrant tool in your laptops?
It's like
Great, man. Yeah. Yeah. If you can start up. So some people are contacting me already. They have some issues, I think. You can ping me. I am available whenever I am available. Right. I will try to reply to you guys. I think you have my ID, consulting ID here. Let me share here for your reference again. You can ping me. I will respond as soon as possible. Let's go here, guys. So what it's doing is it's cloning, is downloading some set of plugins. This is also, right, one-time activity, guys. Only once it will download all the required Maven plugins. These things, right, how it will connect to internet, all these things, right, I will cover in the further session, guys. Also, it is also invokes some JUnit test cases, guys. If you see in the one of the in our slide, right, I have some JUnit test cases also. So code coverage, one test it got succeeded. I have only one test. One is succeeded, 0 failures, right? So everything got succeeded, guys. Now the build got success. Finally, I have created some var file, some maven example.jar file, guys. Okay, build succeeded. This is the expected output from this particular job, guys. If you have any doubts, right, please free to ask. I am happy to help you. Anything, guys, that may be small or big. So I am from DevOps background, so I know. So everything, maybe if you are from non-IT or non-DevOps background, right? For you that may be like a complex one, but I will try to answer you in an easy way, whatever I can do.
Hi, Venkatesh.
Yes.
So this is not about things that you explained. So this is my first class. I joined as a demo right today.
Okay.
So what I would like to understand is I'm not from the developer or any deployment background. So I'm from a technical support background. So how difficult it would be for me, like to learn coding or scripting to understand the complete software lifecycle.
Two things I can tell you here. DevOps team won't code much. They'll do only to automate things. Let's say like if you want to, I mean, I will use some scenarios in our next sessions. Okay. So there will be some set of activities, guys, which we need to automate. Okay. For that, right, you need to know a little bit of Python scripting or shell or PowerShell, anything. Okay, as per your requirement.
Yeah,
Come to the complex, right?
Scripting, yes.
If you want to become the Java, right? If you want DevOps, right? Without zero experience also, right? All these things, right? You need to learn a tool. You're not writing any code, right? You see here, right? You just need to know how to create a job, how to administer the Jenkins from your DevOps point of view. All these options, right? You need to save in your memory. That's it. Whatever, say, if you want to configure some Java, right? Where to go? If you want to install some Jenkins HPA plugins, right? How to do it? How to configure the system? All these, how to add a node. This one I will cover in further session.
Okay.
In DevOps, right? Everything will be limited. Okay. So if you go in the coding, right? You can ask any question, guys. Maybe in interview, in the requirement can be changed. Should be always up to date to the market. In the DevOps, Jenkins means Jenkins, simple. You can't go more than this one. If you want to create a Maven job, means same steps you need to follow. But here we are doing manually in the real time, right? Pipeline as a code we need to do. That is also in the scripting should be there, but that is also right one-time effort, guys. You don't need to keep on changing the code also. Only one time you will write some script. Same thing you will get reused everywhere, guys. So what I can say is, even if you don't have any IT background or if you are from different background, right? That should be okay to become DevOps engineer compared to other domains, right? This one is this one is the easy mechanism to get a job in IT sector.
No, I'm from like ITS background. I have a bit idea about like how Windows servers and Linux servers work and all. So
Yes.
So I'm my knowledge at coding is zero. So
Yes.
as you say, what I understood is like we don't manage the part of developing a code or testing it.
Correct.
So we just use the tools to make the whole process
To make the things happen. Correct. Even automation code also nowadays we stopped writing shell or Python scripting also. We have tool like Terraform or Ansible came, right?
Yeah.
So using that, right, we are automating. So that is also one of the part of the training session. So I will give you some of the real-time examples. So if you want to write some shell scripting, you need to 20 lines of code. However, if you go with Ansible, right, within a single line you can do this all the activity.
Okay.
I will cover that part in our future session.
Okay, thanks, Venkatesh.
Welcome. Please free to ask us anything. That should be okay. We'll wait for a couple of minutes and we can wrap up. So tomorrow, right, please install all the softwares that may be like Java, you can try to install this Jenkins also if you already this Vagrant setup. What we do is in weekend or Monday, right, I will take a session for you only, just to support you guys. If there is some issues, right, I'll try to help you to fix the issues, maybe during Vagrant installation, Oracle Witchbug installation. When installing Jenkins, you may face some issues. I will spend some time with you guys. Expectation will be by the within a week, right? If we can install this all the required softwares, right, we are good to start hands-on, guys. If you do hands-on, right, that will be easy to answer in interviews also. That is the main motto.